Hey everyone, welcome to This Week in PlayStation Trophies, your weekly look at everything to do with the PlayStation Network, the games that have come out this week, games that are going to be coming out soon, and in particular, looking at their trophy list, figuring out which ones are going to be difficult, easy, or somewhere in between. This idea, of course, originally came from Stay Patient, so be sure to check out his channel. The link is in the description, and there is a link at the end of the video. So, let's get right into it. This week is going to be a little bit more lax than others. I don't think there's been a whole lot announced. A lot of Japanese Vita games, so I don't have a whole lot to talk about with them. But without further ado, let's go. We're going to start off by looking, of course, at everything on the PlayStation Network itself that was released. Starting off here at the very bottom with Wild Guns Reloaded. I've done a full review for this and I have gone on a few rants, more than a few rants this week about it. The game is $29.99. It does not feature a full plat. That's one strike against it. But look, trophies aren't like the end-all be-all for me. As much as I do a show about trophies and talk about trophies a lot, look, in the long run, if a game is still an amazing game, trophies don't matter. The problem with Wild Guns Reloaded is the fact that it was originally released on the Super Nintendo over 15 years ago. They've gone ahead, they've added 2 new playable characters, and added 4-player support. So they've added a little bit to it, but they didn't lengthen the game, add new levels, or anything like that. No online play of any sort. And they're charging a price that I feel is way, way higher than it needed to be. It feels like they're only trying to capitalize on the fact that Wild Guns is a rare game. If you want the actual SNES version, you're going to be paying $200, $300, $400 for an actual copy of the game. And with retro prices going the way they are, who knows what it'll end up being once it reaches its peak as far as price is concerned. And at the same time, you can buy the original, which is just as competent. The 2 new characters are cool, but honestly, the original 2 I think are still the better characters. And you can still get that version on Wii and Wii U for only $7.99. So, anyway, end of rant. I've talked about it a lot. But yeah, Wild Guns Reloaded. Up next is Super Blast Deluxe. This is a platform game that is similar, has some similarities to the Donkey Kong Country series because it seems to be a lot of barrels in it. In particular, when I was watching the trailer, a lot of barrels. This was a Vita game that's now been ported over to the PS4. It does have a Platinum for its $5.99 price tag, but even on the Vita version, the percentage is extremely low. In fact, I think some trophies have not even been gotten yet. So I'm not sure if there was issues with it or people just didn't play it or whatever it may be, but there you go, there's Super Blast Deluxe. Subject 13 is up next, an adventure game that had a pretty cool graphical style to it. It does not have a platinum, but it looks like an easy 100%, a very easy 100%. Clearly an adventure style game, some puzzle solving I am sure involved. Developed by this guy who did Flashback and Future Wars. So there you go. There's where this game comes from. It did look interesting. If you played it yourself, let me know down in the comments whether or not it's worth checking out, because it did seem kind of interesting. I didn't go for it this week with the other games I was already getting, mostly due to a plat, I have to admit. Next up is Street Fighter 5 2017 Deluxe Edition. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I am completely wrong on this one. But didn't, like, Capcom say they weren't going to be doing other versions of Street Fighter 5? Like, they're not going to be doing a Super Street Fighter 5 or a Super Street Fighter 5 Arcade, Hyper, whatever it may be editions. Maybe I missed that memo. Maybe they decided to go back on that or whatever. But basically, Street Fighter 5 2017 Deluxe Edition, which I don't think is getting a physical. I think it's only through this digital one. You get Season 1 and 2. I love seasons of characters, but the first 2 seasons of characters along with the main game for one price. I'm not saying that that's not a bad idea. I just thought they weren't doing that kind of thing, so... But whatever. Next up is Shantae Half Genie Hero, another game I did do a full review for, so be sure to check out that on the channel. It is one of the most gorgeous looking action platformers I have seen in recent memory. Absolutely gorgeous animation. I can't say the word gorgeous enough when I look at this game. I loved it. Love the soundtrack. Love the gameplay. It's a little bit Metroidvania, but like Metroidvania light. You know, it's not going to be like that really intense, like harder areas of Metroidvania. Most of it is go into an area, you'll not be able to, like, you'll see things that you think you can go to, but you can't quite get into yet because you don't have the ability to. You go through other levels, get those abilities, and then go back to previous ones, and you're able to find secrets, and sometimes some of the stuff you need to progress in the actual main story. But overall, pretty lax difficulty, especially if you get extra heart containers. But Shantae is just a great game and a great series. If you've never checked them out, I do highly recommend Shantae. Next up is Roller Coaster Dreams. This is another game that does have a platinum. It's a $20 price tag. It says it has full-blown management mode. roller coaster building, and supports virtual reality, supports PlayStation VR. I have to admit, though, I'm intrigued. I have not checked it out. I actually want to check out some reviews for it that are out there to see whether or not it's actually worth going after. There's not a lot of these kind of games on console. I really want to get my hands on Planet Coaster, though, on PC, as I'm a big fan of Roller Coaster Tycoons from the past, and I don't think this is quite the game for those standards. It seems like also a lot of it has to do with, like, mini-games for the different attractions. We'll look at the trophy list in a little bit, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm wondering if it's more of a mini-game comp with light management things instead of, like, you know, full-blown roller coaster or theme park management game. Next up is Mamanga Pinball Adventures, which is available for $5.99. I know it says it's purchased because I actually logged in. It's funny, I didn't want to buy any. I bought a couple things on the sale for PS3, but I didn't feel like actually plugging in my PS3 at the moment, so I just went ahead and bought them through the store. But anyway, so Mamanga Pinball Adventure is right here. It is a cool little pinball adventure game where you're playing as that Mamanga, that cute little flying squirrel-esque creature. A lot of levels contain you either like breaking targets, hitting switches, solving a little bit of puzzles, or beating some bosses in the game. There's a couple of bosses throughout the course of it. Anytime, of course, you end up losing, the ball goes past the flippers, you lose health, and you have a couple of hearts. Once the hearts are out, you have to restart the level. Only about 10 or so levels in the game. Took me about an hour to beat the game all the way through, so not really a really long one, and no platinum involved. But I did do a full review if you want to know more. Next up is Mahjong Deluxe, which I'm pretty sure is probably like a mobile Mahjong game that was ported over to PS4. Very laxed, it looks like to me, as far as design, but there's not a whole lot here without watching the trailer. I don't think we need to watch a Mahjong trailer. Then again, we did watch a cricket trailer last week. But no platinum involved in this, even though it is a low price tag for Plus. At least for right now, it's that low. But I don't expect much from it. Next up is Lethal VR. This game looks kind of like a Hogan's Alley-esque thing, where it's like, you know, the police training type thing. Where, you know, you gotta make sure you don't shoot the citizens, shoot the bad guys, and all that kind of stuff. It looks like it could be fun, but it's a VR game, so I'm not gonna be able to check it out. No platinum, $14.99 price tag. Next up is Industry Giant 2. This looks like an okay strategy game that has low ratings, but it's only 4 of them. Maybe just people got the game and didn't understand. It's a $40 price tag, so very hefty price tag for this kind of game, but I think fans of the strategy genre wouldn't mind paying $40 for a game that looks like this, but I don't know if this one's any good or not. Like, I can't go on that. But there's no platinum. $40 price tag, no plat, and the trophy list is stupid, including playing the game for 50, then 75, and then 100 hours. It's kind of ridiculous. We'll look, I think, a little bit more into that in a bit. Or, no, sorry, I had to look that up prior. It's not, it was announced a few weeks ago, Industry Giants, as far as the trophy list for it was concerned. But, yeah, not gonna be my thing. Next up is Full-On Super Combo. This is another one of those Neo Geo games being ported over the PS4. We've seen a lot of them ported over. The only negative is a high price point for $14.99 for these old games, and no platinums. But this one is 2 games in one. It has 2 games in one, Savage Rain and Kazuna Encounter, neither of which I'm really that familiar with. The trophies look like they're doable for each game, because there's some for one game, some for the other, but like I said, no platinum. We'll start off this week, though. The first trailer we're going to look at, though, let's look at Foon Super Combo. I have to say, SNK did not do a great job with its trailer here, because it's very, like, kind of low quality. It looks a little bit blurry. But this is from SNK Game. I think this is their official YouTube. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but this is the first one that kind of popped up when I searched Fuon Super Combo. Still looks like a great game of the era from the, you know, they did such a good, SNK did so many great fighters of that time period, and this looks like another one that would be fun to play, but with that little bit of a high price point. Maybe we can get lucky, maybe, how about SNK, go ahead and put all of them, once you get them all up on the PSN, put them all together as one big bundle and release that. Maybe a physical version of it with a platinum. There you go, you'll get my money that way, that is for sure. But still a very cool looking fighter. If you're a fan of this particular fighter, let me know like how it stacks up compared to other ones like Art of Fighting or the like, or King of Fighters. But there we go, there's the first trailer for the week. Fuon Super Combo. Next up is Fruit Ninja. Because, of course, we need to make a Fruit Ninja game for the PS4 and have it with VR. If you've ever wanted to slice fruit while in virtual reality, you can do that now. It's a $14.99 price tag, no platinum. We'll be looking at the trophy list for that in just a bit. I'm not into the whole Fruit Ninja craze. I don't get it. I know there was even an arcade cabinet for it at one point. Didn't make sense to me, but whatever. People are into it. Next up is the PS Vita version of Dex. This is a game that looks kind of cool. It does seem like it has an easy plat as far as the PS4 completion ratio goes. It came out, I think, back in July. If you're someone who bought this game on PS4, is it a good game? And is the trophies easy? Because it did seem like the trophies are relatively easy by completion ratio. It does have a platinum, and now that it's over on the Vita, you know, which it looks like it could have been on Vita first and then PS4, but anyway, if you've played it, let me know. It definitely looks like something I would be interested in. Air Race Speed is up next. This is a game that's pretty cheap. It looked kind of like a Descent type game, but I think it's on rails kind of racing game thing. Watching out for, yeah, like, you know, it doesn't seem like it's all that much to it, but only being one player, and it has some touchscreen support for the Vita, because that's what it is on. It's on the good old Vita. No platinum, though, in Air Race Speed. And finally, last but not least, as far as the new games released this week, is Wonder Jar. Now, this one looked like a game I would be interested in. It's like an RPG strategy game. It has a cute little art style to it. So it looks like it also could have been mobile. Potentially mobile for that price. Maybe it is mobile. A lot of these games are probably... I play so little mobile games, I, like, never even look at the mobile store most of the time anymore. But anyway, it looked kind of cool. No platinum, though. And I almost bought it, but I was working on Shantae. My copy of Shantae didn't arrive till a day late, so I just didn't get around. Had Shantae arrived on time, you probably would have seen a review for this one on my channel. But anyway, if you've messed with it yourself, or maybe played it on mobile, if it is a mobile title, let me know about it. Next up is the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and Destiny Collection, or Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, and Destiny Collections. Why they bundled these two together, I don't know. Just try to get a little bit of extra sales. If for some reason someone didn't have Destiny yet, I don't have much else to say about it. Anyway, let's go now over to the PSN profiles, and we'll start looking at all the games that are announced. We stopped last week with Unearthing Mars. First up is that dang, my voice is gone. That Fuon Super Combo. And here you go. You can see everything for like Kazuna Encounters and Savage Rain. A lot of these seem like it's defeating the bosses. Score a 10 hit or more higher combo. And there's a few other things in here. Score 9,000 points in a single round. Everyone who's gotten it. Not probably a lot of owners though. Only 4 owners have picked this up yet. But of course that doesn't go with how many people bought it on PSN that aren't on PSN profiles. It's only, of course, PSN profiles. Next up is Valentino Rossi, the game compact. I'm sure a very popular as far as like the MotoGP stuff goes. Obviously, it's not something I'm really into. This does not have a platinum. I know other Valentino Rossi games did though. Fruit Ninja VR and Lethal VR. I was just talking about these. Of course, they were released this week. You can see the no platinum. A little bit of owners, but seems like a relatively easy 100% completion rate, except for this one looks annoying. Killing 50,000 fruit. How many games do you have to play of it to get 50,000 fruit? Especially when you're in VR. That seems like it's a little bit of a grind and a pain in the butt. I don't know why this even exists, and I think it's way overpriced, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing what makes Fruit Ninja VR the game to have this season. Lethal VR looks like it's a little bit easier as far as the trophies are concerned. The lowest percentages are 35.21 for this one for get rating with an OCP gun. And then there's one for score a rating on every simulation, which doesn't, I'm sure that's probably just playing through everything. So it looks like a relatively easy 100%. Mahjong Deluxe is up next. A low percentage so far. A lot of the trophies have not been gotten. I think that's just because only a few people own the game. And maybe people bought it out of curiosity, didn't know what Mahjong was at first, and then got bored with it. I don't know why you would pick up one of these games without being really kind of like fully into it. I would say this is a bad number to go to. I doubt, since it's get 3 stars on all the levels in each world, which I'm sure is a pain. I wouldn't judge necessarily, unless if you're really good at Mahjong, I'm sure you can 100% it relatively easily. Next up is the first of, like I said, multiple visual novel Vita Japanese games that have been put up this week. A lot of them have platinums, and most people that have been doing these games do have the trophy list. I'm not going to go over all of them, but yeah, so this is another one of these. I know they're hard to get a hold of because you have to have a Japanese account for PlayStation and be able to get them downloaded for Vita, because I think a lot of these don't even get physicals. Maybe they do. Maybe the ones listed here at least do get physical releases, but next up is Paranautical Activity. This is a game I didn't even know existed until this week because it's on sale on PS4. This must be a different list for it, like a different region, as it came out in Vita on PS4 back in 2015. It's a Minecraft-y looking block type game, but it's like homage to classic first-person shooters like your Dooms and your Quake and stuff like that. So, the trophy list itself, while it doesn't necessarily seem all that bad, you have something like this, complete hardcore mode 5 times. The PS4 version of it, or the US version of North American version of it, no one has that trophy still. So either it's broken, or just no one spent the time to do it. Next up is Roller Coaster Dreams. This, like I said, does have a platinum. Like, you have stuff like get 500,000 annual visitors. A lot of people already have that one. But then you can see a lot of these are the gold medal challenges for each level, and then clearing each of these things, like Vertical Explosion, Haunted House, Zombie Mansion, Escape from the Maze, Go-Kart, there's a bumper car one, yeah. So I think a lot of these are like mini-games contained within here, and I don't know how difficult a lot of those are. I do wonder, since most of the other ones have been gotten, except for like the ones for Vertical Explosion, none of them have been gotten. Is that broken? Is that not included yet? What is the deal with Vertical Explosion? If you've played Roller Coaster Tycoon, no, if you played Roller Coaster Dreams, let me know all about that. Next up is Saki Plus. This is another one of these. This one is a little bit different, though. This one's not a visual novel. I think it's a board game. I didn't look it up. It may be a Mahjong game, actually. It's either a board game or a Mahjong game, because it said like first time communications, won the game for the first time, won the coin. So I don't know if it's a Mahjong game, a puzzle game, a board game. But yeah, so let me know if you know anything about this particular thing. Saki Nationwide Edition, or Saki Nationwide Hen Plus. Dynamic Chord and Birthday Song, both of these I know are more visual novel titles. And I think this one is too. Yeah, this one is too. Whatever that one actually translates to. And then there's another one here that is not a visual novel. Arashi in the Pacific, The Fear of Empire is Here, 1942 Battleship Yamada, Counterattack No Gun. That is a heck of a name. Look at that name. That is a long name. And you have like beating the scenarios and all that. No, it does have a platinum. I thought it was no platinum for a second. It does have a platinum, so that's cool. I don't know much about this game in particular. But if, you know, at least it's another Vita title that's not a visual novel compared to a lot of the other stuff that's been thrown up on here. Sherlock Holmes The Devil's Daughter, which has an easy platinum, the North American version does. I don't know what trophy list is this one in particular. I don't know if this is one of the foreign regions or not. But anyway, so there's another potential list for this game. I know the North American one has an easy plat. I haven't gotten it myself yet, but that's what I've heard. Next up is another Vita title. Spelled all the bright yellow of the book was. Spelled all the book of Iris. My guess, more. Spelled 60 pieces of the story. So I'm not positive this is a visual novel. I collected all the event graphics. My guess is this is another visual novel. That is my guess. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could easily be. The sword has spelled you 100 night trophies. So there's another visual novel title. This one looks like it may not be, but then again, I look at it and it says stuff like reading each chapter, clear each person's route, and get everything, every music, and every CG gallery. So guess what? Another visual novel. But at least this one has some Durgans, some dragons, some Jurgens, some Drugadons. I don't know what I'm doing anymore with my life. Next up is, this is the Hyperdimension Neptunia Sega Gals game. It has it listed as November 26, 2015, when the original came out. I don't know if this is the Korean region trophy list or Chinese, Taipei, whatever. I don't know where they release these games anymore sometimes. But I'm not sure if that's another one of these ones. I like the Hyperdimension Neptunia games. I don't get a chance to play a lot of them, but I do own most. I own all the ones on the actual console, not the Vita, not the handheld ones. But so that's another list for that game. So if you're a big fan of it, I guess it's something to look at. Next up is, this is obviously a Touhou game. I'm not sure which Touhou game this one is. Wonderland Fantasy Township TOD. Or Mysterious Gensokyo TOD Reloaded. So another one of the Touhou games, and wow, these trophy descriptions are going to be hard to understand. Droppings this in because I do not tell me, you nag, and other everyday please practice. For example, because I became a first-class hermit is beyond me, so as not to live up to its name every day, I not it. Joke. I is white vegetarian, not stay sharp is, all different story. If you didn't know what that's telling you to do in the game, obviously... you're stupid. Moving on. We have the Turing test next. This is another visual novel game. Sorry, this is another adventure game. Not a visual novel game. An adventure game. And very easy. 100%, no platinum. But I love the names of these trophies. I absolutely adore the names of these trophies, because we have stuff like The Chinese Room with the description of The Chinese Room, and Thinking Outside the Box with the description of Thinking Outside the Box. Just, I love it. Next up is Black and White Bushido. Now, this is a game that is, I guess, coming to North America now. I think it's out in Europe and UK only so far. It looks like a fun little multiplayer game. Go ahead and look a little bit at the trailer. It looks like it has an easy potential platinum. If anyone's played it, let me know how difficult the platinum is. There is a trophy for playing it with 4 players at the same time. I'm not a big fan of those because, of course, it usually requires 4 controllers. Not all the time. Some games you're able to kind of trick and manipulate a little bit. But anyway, so if it doesn't, like if you can manipulate it, even better. But if it looks like it could potentially be a not only relatively fun game for what it is, because I like the whole gimmick of like you play as either the white or the black like samurai guys, and you can kind of hide yourself depending upon which you're standing in front of, as well as the fact that I was hoping it was gonna be like a pseudo sequel to Bushido Blade. When are we ever gonna get that? When are we gonna get a new game in the Bushido Blade series? But there's also a single player. So yeah, Black and White Bushido looks like it's kind of an easy plat. Stuff like get a double kill 10 times. The worst one, I think, and they're mostly gold. That's 10 golds and 2 silvers. So fans of gold trophies, definitely should be on the radar here. Slice up a shark for the first time as a silver, and get 300 points or more in challenge mode, and there's 3,000 points or more in challenge mode. That's the only one that looks like it could be difficult. It could be difficult. I don't even know what that is. That's a terrible foreign accent. I don't know what that was. But anyway, it looks like it could potentially be an easy plat. Speedrunners is up next. This is another one who's competitive. Like it's basically, it's a 4-player competitive game, and your goal is to get through the level as quick as possible, but you can do kind of stuff to stop your opponents from, like, your other opponents and stuff like that. Looks like it could be an easy 100%, though, but then there's one for, like, beating it on unfair difficulty, but how unfair is unfair? Sometimes you don't know, like, how difficulties are, because there's some games where it's, like, the hardest difficulty is actually really not that difficult, and then other times it's you can't even step 2 steps and the game just kills you, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess that's how it's gonna be. So, have to see about that. The trophy list for Digimon World Next Order. This is already out in Japan and coming out near the end of January here in North America, so we do have the trophy list for it, including clearing the chapters, defeating, I assume this is a big boss. I hope that's not a big spoiler. It's not a hidden trophy, I don't think. Maybe it is. I don't know. Either way, it looks like it could be potentially easy. There's 1,000,000 bits, 100,000 bits. Level 100, though. Town expanded to level 100. I bet you... Well, it's a bronze, so maybe... I don't know. You never know. You can't rely on bronzes actually being easy, because sometimes bronze trophies are some of the hardest in games, as I've come to find out many a time. So, it's a sequel, I think, to the last Digimon game that came out that a lot of people really liked. So, I think if you liked that, you'll probably end up liking this. Another chapter, Chapter 4, beating Chapter 4. So, 4 chapters. 4. It looks like it's 4 chapters. Next up is Hatsune Miku Project Diva Future Tone, the newest game to be released in North America for Hatsune Miku. There's been a lot of them released like this year alone. It's coming out beginning of January, one of the first games of 2017 to hit the PSN. And it looks like it has an easy 100%, and it looks like a pretty standard Hatsune Miku title. Go ahead and take a brief look at the trailer here. But it looks like it's relatively like the same as a lot of the other Hatsune Miku games. So I'm not really sure why this one's not getting the trophy support or trophy love that other games in the franchise have. Maybe it's just a smaller title overall. But it says a whole bunch of songs from the other previous games. So I would think this would be like cool. Like would be like an actual lot of like effort and everything else put into it. But I may be wrong there. I know there's a lot of people that are big fans of the Vocaloid stuff. I'm not really, like, the hugest fan. I did review the one game this year. But I can't say that I'm, like, this diehard fan of everything. Here's another list. This is the North American list now for Dynasty Warriors God Seekers. This is coming out the end of January here. Yeah, January 31st. Wow. This is the newest game in the whole Dragon... Dynasty Warriors series. I'm going to say Dragon Warrior series. Dynasty Warrior series. And the thing about it is they're not releasing it physically here in North America. They're only releasing it digitally, which really sucks. I don't know why they're doing that. It looks like it's also very oddball. We're going to look briefly. Let's look at the trailer. Or at least, yeah, this is the announcement trailer from a little while back. So it's something that... You know, it's got a lot of thumbs down on this announcement trailer. I don't know if it's because it's more over the top than some of the other previous games. Because, like, you know, have that character, that anime-esque character that's been added to the mix, her. Like, I don't get what they're doing with this particular one. Plus, they've changed the designs of a lot of characters. Like, that guy doesn't seem like he belongs with the rest of them. They've gone through some changes in design-wise over the years with Dynasty Warrior titles. As well as this one, as you can see, is also like a strategy-esque game. So, I don't know. I wish they would release it as a physical copy, because I would be picking it up for sure now with it being a digital one. Especially if it's going to be a full-price release, which it probably will be from Tecmo Koei, or Koei Tecmo. That I'm probably going to end up skipping on it. But I figured I'd go ahead and show a little bit of it. You kind of get the idea of what is going on with that one. The Longest 5 Minutes is up next. A game that does have a platinum. And I don't know what exactly this entails, but it seems like an interesting concept. If it's something that you've messed with, or you know, if it's coming out soon or whatever, maybe it's on Steam already or something like that. But they have like these RPG level things. That's a printy. I don't know if this is related to anything with this guy, but at least that's definitely a printy. As I'm sure some of these other ones represent some other characters and stuff too. Nothing I recognize though. But a lot of stuff going on here with it, with these RPG level things. I don't know how hard those are to get. Like how quickly it is you're able to kind of get up through that, but it does have a platinum. And next up is a Touhou Genzo Wanderer. This is the next one that's coming here. It does thankfully have a platinum trophy. There you go, you can see better. It does have a platinum trophy. I don't know how difficult, of course, that's going to be. Basically, this one, I'll show you guys the trailer for it, or at least a little bit of it. The Touhou games, if you're unfamiliar with them, it's like a long-running series of like fan games, and they've created this big universe with all these characters and multiple different types of games and multiple, you know, it's lots of developers make games in the series and related to the series, and they are mostly PC titles. And they've slowly started over the last year now to come to North America. We've had 2 released here in North America on PS4 alone. I'm not sure about other systems. But this is based on the Shiren, the Wanderer type games. Similar to Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, if you've ever played those games. where it's like you go through like floor after floor after floor of a dungeon. I like those kind of games, so it looks like it could potentially be cool. And there's also apparently another Touhou game that you get with it if you know, so that's cool. So there's another one to look at as well. And the fact that it does have a platinum is cool, but there's also stuff like this with reach level 99 with the player and the partner. I have a feeling that will take quite a bit to get, so probably a difficult plat. Air Race Speed we looked at on the Vita when it's out this week. Does have a platinum. Cool. That actually is cool. I thought it didn't have a platinum. It does have a platinum, so I do apologize on that one. And yeah, so you can kind of see everything to do with this. 10 different levels with Nitro constantly running and without crashing. That looks like it could be difficult. Past at least 5 stages of any endless level. Past at least 10 stages of any endless level. Complete all levels of Tier 1, 2, and 3. So, could be an interesting game to look at. Not particularly easy. Let's look and see if anyone... 4 people have it. 1 person's gotten the platinum. We'll have to wait and see, actually, if that ends up increasing, like, as more people play it. And then last, but certainly not least, is a game I can't pronounce or say anything about. This is a game that came out back in 2015 in Japan for the Vita, and I guess is getting a worldwide release for the Vita in June of 2017. An RPG is my guess. I love this kind of trophy things, though, where they actually have, like, the character is, like, 4 trophies in a row. I like stuff like that, so... they get a little bit of that with Gravity Rush, the PS4 version. I don't know if the original Gravity Rush was the same way, so I appreciate those kind of things. There's little nuances and stuff, kind of cool. So, there you guys go. There is everything to do with PlayStation trophies for this week. Be sure to let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the video. If you did end up watching it all, be sure to check out Stay Patient's videos. Like I said, link in the description and at the end. Probably right around now, somewhere around now. But anyway, guys, have a great week and have a happy holidays. You know, I hope you had a good December, whatever it may be. Next Friday will, of course, be the 30th, the last trophy update for 2016. I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, I hope you enjoyed.